gentlemen, welcome to the Fall 2016 Commissioning Ceremony. I'm Cadet Courtney Thornton. Thank you for joining us today on this very special occasion. Today represents the culmination of years of hard work and the beginning of an exciting journey as officers in the world's greatest Air Force. As a reminder, please turn off all cell phones. Also, feel free to take pictures as you like. Please rise for the arrival of the official party and the commissionees. Remain standing for our national anthem and the invocation. Will now sing the national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave? Cadet Laura Mason will now give the invocation.
Please pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for all our men and women serving and defending our country today. We thank you especially for our own cadets who are taking the next step in living a life of service and sacrifice. We praise you for their willingness to defend us. Please give them wisdom, guard them from our enemies, help them lead well, and may they glorify you through all of their actions. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Cadet Frazier and Cadet Mason. At this critical time in our country's history, and the world's history for that matter, we ask you to remember all those that have served, and those currently serving, protecting our nation and ensuring the preservation of freedom. Please be seated. Before we continue, we would like to introduce our leadership and honored guests. The Commander, Air Force ROTC Detachment 675, Colonel Bruce Smith. Damon Lane, KOCO Chief Meteorologist. Assistant Dean of University College, Dr. Lisa Portwood. And you, the friends and families of the commissionees who are here with us today. We realize that without your help and support, this day would not be possible. Let's give them a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce our detachment commander, Colonel Bruce Smith.
Thanks, Cadet Thornton. First of all, I'm going to go off script for a second. For those of you that are visiting, I want to introduce our staff, the great staff of Cadet 675, our operations officer, Major Devine. Back in the back, hold your applause till the end. Back in the back, we have Captain Allison Goolsby, Captain Adam Zucker, Michelle Brambili, and Theo Theophilus in the back. And then, of course, Miss Tori, who puts this whole thing together. So now, if you can give everybody a round of applause. As Cadet Thornton said, I would also like to actually welcome you. This is a great day. I was at Vance Air Force Base yesterday doing the graduation speech for a pilot training class, 21 brand new pilots that are going in the Air Force. So a big, big milestone in their career. But there's no milestone greater than the one that we're about to see today for these four. Okay? Becoming second lieutenants in the United States Air Force is really awesome. And I can tell you that when I was at Vance yesterday, I was not as nervous as I am right now, because this is a big deal. So when we get to do this, it's a really big deal. So, and as you said, these guys would not be sitting here if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you for everything that you do for them and putting up with their shenanigans for the past 22 years that they've been around or longer. So that's awesome. Dean Porwood, thanks for coming. Appreciate you representing back there, and Damon, obviously, we're looking forward to what you have to say today. So with that, I'm going to introduce our guest speaker. Damon Lane is the Chief Meteorologist for KOCO-5, First Alert Weather. He is the only Chief Meteorologist in Oklahoma who holds a degree in atmospheric science and meteorology. He is also the only Chief Meteorologist in Oklahoma City to hold CBM seal of approval from the American Meteorological Society, say that 5 times fast. The highest level of certification in the nation's top association for broadcast meteorologists. Mr. Lane is the KOCO-5 alert team independently certified as delivering the most accurate forecast in Oklahoma City by WeatherRate, an independent scientific organization. Mr. Lane also served as the guest meteorologist on ABC's Good Morning America and is frequently featured speaker at weather conferences around the country. In 2016, Mr. Lane was featured in the nationally televised ABC 2020 primetime special, In an Instant, about the 2013 tornado outbreak that impacted Moore, Oklahoma. He shared his personal experiences covering the tornado outbreak in Moore. The massive tornado struck his own neighborhood as he covered it live on the air. His wife rode out the storm in a shelter with their family dogs, while many nearby homes were damaged or destroyed. Mr. Lane has been active in the community recovering efforts ever since. Mr. Lane's coverage of the tornado outbreak was nominated for an Emmy Award. With that, I'd like to welcome to the podium Damon Lane.
Well, I'm glad that y'all gave me an applause after the cold that came in. I know yesterday probably would have been a little bit of a nicer day. About 68 degrees last night at about 10 o'clock. And even at midnight it was still about 68 degrees. So, I'm here speaking, and of course I'm speaking mainly to the four of you over here. So it is an honor to speak to you on this day. As you heard earlier, my name is Damon Lane. I'm the Chief Meteorologist for the ABC affiliate. And I was actually, Megan was an intern of mine a couple years ago. I want to talk a lot about how I got here. You know, I spent the last couple of weeks trying to figure out what I wanted to talk about because I know this is such a big event in your all's life. I am not from Oklahoma. I'm not from the Central Plains. I'm actually from just outside of Washington, D.C., about 5 miles south of the White House. So you can imagine growing up in Washington, D.C., and then finding myself out here in the middle of America. The journey that I took, though, had many bumps along the way. It was not a smooth transition. But yet I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. So Megan, Alexander, Caleb, Jared. Today marks the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. The four of you are about to each take a very different journey. Each one of you will travel to somewhere completely different in the world. And more than likely, you're going to go somewhere that you have never been before. You know, at the age of 21, when I graduated college in Norfolk, Virginia for the first time, I have 2 degrees, I knew that my learning was not done yet, so I immediately went back to school. This time I went a little farther away from where I was from. I went out to western North Carolina. I studied hard, and when it was time for my next journey, I found myself all the way out in West Texas. I was smack dab in the middle of what felt like to me a foreign land. The trees were smaller. They didn't start planting their trees as early as we did on the East Coast. The weather was way different, and people spoke different. I heard the word fixing to for the very first time. All because I decided to take a career in broadcasting. Now, at one point I thought I was going to go into the Air Force and be a meteorologist. And I went into broadcasting. And your story may be similar to mine. So Megan, you're headed to Hawaii. Alexander, you're headed south of Texas. Caleb, Mississippi. Jerry, out west of Utah. These areas are going to be completely different than where you are right now. And I have been in a situation very similar to where you're about to go. So how do you approach this next chapter in your life that you're headed on? Number one, the most important, talk to your mom and dad. Often. They will want to hear your voice, and trust me, you're going to want to hear theirs. Say I love you after every conversation. Don't let future you regret that you didn't say it enough. Take pictures of everything you see and everywhere you go. You know, I'll never forget when I made the move from North Carolina to Texas. I took pictures of everything. Your life is about to speed up. And without those pictures, you're probably going to forget some of the little things that you're about to see. You know, imagine sitting on your couch 50 years from now. You're married, you have kids, you have grandkids, you're probably retired. You're going to open a computer because, let's face it, none of us are going to keep a box of pictures at that point. But you're going to find a bunch of those old pictures. You're headed down memory lane, and years from now you're going to look back. They're going to remind you where you've been and how far you have come. The friendships that you're about to make will be ones that will forever stay. When I made my first move in television, I found myself surrounded by a group of people that were a lot like me. We were fresh out of college, far from home, didn't really know anybody. We were also very, very poor. We all had many things in common, and we all took parts in the things that were cheap, like wing night at Buffalo Wild Wings, or Taco Tuesday. Believe it or not, we all keep in touch. There was a small group, about 8 of us, that met back in 2005. And today, those friendships I still hold very dear. We're still sending each other Christmas cards. We're still liking and commenting on all their Facebook posts. And believe it or not, even been in some of their weddings. And very interesting enough, one of those friendships that I made when I made my first move is with someone that I now call my wife. So, you're headed into the airport, which is pretty cool. Here's a little bit of advice though. If someone offers you a seat on a rocket ship, take it. Don't ask what seat. Enjoy the successes that you will have coming up, and appreciate the failures. They will be fantastic teaching tools. And more than likely, your definition of success is going to change 5 years from now, or 10 years from now, from what you think success is right now. You know, because of the things that I did in the last 15 years, and I told you that I had a lot of bumps along the way, I look back now and I would not have traded them for anything. You know, it's okay to be a little nervous, but if you do the things that I've told you, talk to your parents, say I love you, open your heart to new friendships, that I promise you, the next chapter that you're about to begin, Megan, Caleb, is going to be some of the best that you have had. And so congratulations, Jerry, Alexander as well, because this is a very big moment that you are now getting ready to embark on. Saying goodbye to one chapter and hello to the next. So congratulations.
Mr. Lane, the commissionees would like to thank you for taking time to attend today's ceremony. Mr. Lane will receive a gift from the mom-in-law.
Mr. Lane has to leave. Can we get a picture
Absolutely.
with the four people before you?
I was booked on a 4:30 flight, and then American Airlines called me up and said, we need you out at 12:30. So,
Get you in the middle of the let's see if it has to get a picture.
The commissioning ceremony is simple yet very meaningful. Each commissionee will take the oath of office, have their uniform pinned with the rank of second lieutenant, receive their commissioning certificate and airman's coin, and receive their first salute from an enlisted member of the armed forces. I'd like all of you, and especially the commissionees, to consider the oath about to be taken. In taking the oath of office, each commissionee vows their support of, their faith in, and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States. They state their sincerity of this vow, that they take this vow of their own free will, and they vow to carry out their duties with excellence. It is this oath that makes service as an officer in the U.S. military unique. It states our commitment to our form of government. It states our commitment to serve our country. It states our commitment to give our very best. It is a tradition in the military for a newly commissioned lieutenant to give a silver dollar to the first enlisted member to render them a salute. This tradition predates the U.S. military, and most likely originated in the British military. Today, the tradition continues as a sign of mutual respect between the officer and enlisted corps. It shows the newly commissioned officers' appreciation for the respect granted to them by the enlisted member. It reminds the newly commissioned officer not to take the respect for granted. Commissionees, ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the publication of the orders.
Publish the order.
Attention to orders. By authority of the Secretary of the Air Force, by the Commander of Air Force ROTC, and by the direction of the President, you are tendered the indefinite term appointment in the United States Air Force in the grade of Second Lieutenant, effective upon execution and acceptance of the oath of office. Please be seated. Cadet Berryman and Colonel Smith, please come forward. Cadet Berryman will be administered the oath by Detachment 675 Commander Colonel Bruce Smith. Colonel Smith, please administer the oath.
Repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Caleb James Berryman,
Having been appointed as Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
having been appointed as Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
that I will bear
True faith and
faith
allegiance.
and allegiance to the same,
That I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duty of the office
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Those involved with pinning the rank, please come forward. Pinning the rank on Lieutenant Berryman are his father, Wallace, his mother, Cindy, his sister, Rachel, and his brothers, Josiah, Jared, and Jeremy.
And if you want to take pictures, feel free to come up, please.
Lieutenant Caleb Berryman is from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, and graduated from the University of Oklahoma's Gallipoli College of Engineering with a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. He will report to Columbus Air Force Base, Mississippi in June to begin his undergraduate pilot training. Lieutenant Berryman will receive his first salute from his great friend, Army Reserve Specialist Bryce Snyder.
Give me one second. We
Lieutenant Berryman will receive his first salute from his great friend, Army Reserve Specialist Bryce Snyder. Cadet Beckett and Major Devine, please come forward. Cadet Beckett will be administered the oath by Detachment 675 Operations Officer, Major Ned Devine. Major Devine, please administer the oath.
Raise your right hand. State your full name.
I, Jerry Joseph Pickett,
Having been appointed Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
have been appointed Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
both foreign and domestic,
both foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same.
that I take this obligation freely
I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
that I will and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
of the office of which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
With those involved with pinning the rank, please come forward. Pinning the rank on Lieutenant Beckett are his father, Brian, and his mother, Susan. Lieutenant Jerry Vega is from Moore, Oklahoma, and graduated from the University of Oklahoma's Gallagher College of Engineering with a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering. He will report to Hill Air Force Base, Utah in January to begin his career as a developmental engineer. Lieutenant Beckett will receive his first salute from his father, retired Air Force Senior Master Sergeant Brian Beckett. Cadet Draculakis and Colonel Smith, please come forward. Cadet Draculakis will be administered the oath by Colonel Smith. Colonel Smith, please administer the oath.
Please repeat after me. State your full name.
I, Alexander Antonius Draculakis,
Having been appointed as Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
having been appointed as Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
With those involved with pinning the rank, please come forward. Pinning the rank on Lieutenant Draculakis are his parents, Antonius and Katerina Draculakis, and family friend Charlie Kalifas. Lieutenant Alexander Draculakis is from Lakarchi, Oklahoma, and graduated from the University of Oklahoma's Gallagher College of Engineering with a Bachelor of Science degree in Industrial and Systems Engineering. He will report to Laughlin Air Force Base, Texas in April for undergraduate pilot training. Lieutenant Draculakis will receive his first salute from his friend, U.S. Navy Seaman Timothy Matthews. Cadet Longenbaugh and Colonel Smith, please come forward. Cadet Longenbaugh will be administered the oath by Colonel Smith. Colonel Smith, please administer the oath.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Megan Taylor Longenbaugh,
Having been appointed as Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
having been appointed as Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
With those involved in pinning the rank, please come forward. Pinning the rank on Lieutenant Longenbaugh are her parents, Jason and Kim, and her brother, Logan Longenbaugh. Lieutenant Megan Longenbaugh is from Newalla, Oklahoma. Graduated from the University of Oklahoma's College of Atmospheric and Geographic Sciences with a Bachelor of Science in Meteorology. She will report to Joint Base Pearl Harbor, Hickam, Hawaii, sometime this summer. Lieutenant Longenbaugh will receive her first salute from her grandfather, Air Force retired Master Sergeant Bobby Joe Longenbaugh. Would our new officers please rise? Let's congratulate the Air Force's newest second lieutenant. Would everyone please stand for the playing of the Air Force song?
Blue yonder, climbing high to the sun. Here they come, soon to meet our thunder. Atom boys, give her the gun, give her the gun, hey! Down we dive, spouting our flame from under. Off with one hell of a roar. We live in fame, we're down in flames. Hey, nothing will stop the U.S. Air Force.
Ladies and gentlemen, this now concludes our ceremony. Families, please feel free to use the flag backdrop in this room to take as many pictures as you'd like. And please join us for a reception in honor of our new lieutenants. We have a really pretty cake in the back. Thank you so much.
Well done.